Welcome back to Turning the Key to Real Estate. I'm your host, Nicholas Fegley.
And Heather Patron-Shook.
Well, everybody, we are back today. And today we're going to be doing another, business spotlight of a local business here in the Camp Hill area that I think a lot of people look at the industry and they don't either understand it, one, or it's misunderstood. I guess it's the same damn thing, but whatever. We're not going to talk about what Heather put in my cup.
Not me, Heather. Let's be real.
We're letting you get blamed.
Because I'm here and you're there, and it was not me, Heather.
Sure. I mean, she's just zooming from another room. So Heather, how are you today?
I'm living the dream here.
How's Philly?
It's great, except for literally right before I hopped on this call, I think every buyer I have is like, hey, I'd like to go see a house tonight.
Well, glad we moved this up.
I am too. It's 3 o'clock.
It's a good problem to have.
It is a good problem.
It is a good problem to have, but it's
welcome to real estate. We complain about having business.
There you go.
No, it's not complaining. It's like I have 5 of them. They all want the same time frame and in different directions. So
that's always
at least it's not 5 for the same house.
I've had 3 this past week.
Yeah, that's
another story. So everybody, we have our special guest here today, Miss Amy from Boone Graphics and Apparel.
Hi.
Well, wait, when you said apparel, did you point to your shirt?
Well, so we're getting there. So we're not going to look behind us. This was pre-Amy in my life.
Well, nobody had to know that.
But this is Amy. My big red banner next door for another event is Amy. You name it. Everything I do anymore is my pens. No, my pens have not been Amy. These were pre-bought before Amy too. But yes, Amy does these as well. So I no longer have to go to they that should not be named. That also is more expensive. So we will probably end up naming them. But so, let's dive into that. So, my perception of the marketing, print marketing, apparel marketing, all of that kind of marketing aspect of the world was always like, oh, just go online, get it from the Vistaprints or the pens.coms or the whatevers. That, I mean, even Heather sent me one that one time that, oh, they'll be cheaper because they do a larger mass amount of things.
Correct.
Why is that, Amy? Why do you think that is the perception of people like me? Because I was guilty.
Part of the perception is since COVID, people don't want to get off their couch.
True.
So it's not only they think it's cheaper, they don't have to get in their car, drive somewhere, make a phone call. They can do everything on their phone without having to move. So the perception is because I can do it from my couch, it's going to be easier, faster, and cheaper. And that's not always the case.
Yeah. So I think my realization was I, with a decent amount of time, needed some polos done. And I met Amy due to a networking group that we're a part of together. And I just said to her, hey, if I bring you in some polos, can you embroider them for me? Give me a cost. So she did. I just bought standard polos off of Amazon. They're nice. I mean, they're comfortable. They're the soft, whatever they're called.
The moisture wicking.
Yeah, that. So it's
100% polyester.
Yeah, I mean, good old polyester. And I took them in, and within less than 2 weeks, she had 16 shirts done. Yep, 16 shirts done at the cost that it was going to get me 5 from Vistaprint. Actually, less than the cost it was going to get me from 5 from Vistaprint.
Okay, and they were the quality that you wanted.
And they were the quality that I wanted. You didn't get the black backing. So anytime you guys see me wearing one of the shirts that has the black behind the Howard Hanna, that is a Vistaprint shirt. Amy went and actually matched the stitching of the Howard Hanna behind their behind their lettering to the physical shirt, so then it blends in. It doesn't stand out, which I didn't even know was an option until I was standing in her studio talking to her about it. So Amy, what is it out of all of the things that you guys do, would you say is your favorite thing to do?
Or favorite swag? Favorite swag.
My
Not
favorite
most popular.
swag, not most
Favorite.
popular. My favorite swag, and I don't get to do it often, are honestly the one-offs that I get to make for gifts for friends. Like the jacket I did for Rebecca's niece. I
Uh-huh.
did the back of a denim jacket for a 4-year-old.
Rebecca
Customized it,
Bowman, who's
right?
on here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, customized it with
so
their
cute.
niece's name and a couple flowers and things like that. I also love logos or challenges because not every logo that comes in is ready to go for apparel. So
Oh.
it's the challenge of me making it work for apparel.
Yeah.
So I love a challenge.
I was wondering when you said challenges, so it's like when I give you something, I'm like, hey, I need 300 by Friday and it's Tuesday. Those
Yes,
kind of challenges too?
those kind of challenges, but not all logos are designed for apparel.
Mm-hmm.
98% of the logos that are designed out there look great on print. You want business cards? They look
Mm.
beautiful. You want a banner? We can do that. You want yard signs? Perfect. You put it on apparel, you put it on a left chest when you only have 3.5 to 4 inches to work, and it doesn't work. So it's the challenge of making it work to make it look the way you want it to look, the way it should look, to keep the integrity of the logo and the brand in the space you have to work with.
So what would you say is the most popular thing people get branded and hand out? Not the one that's most used, most popular now.
I would say polos and hats.
Okay.
Okay.
Which I do those as well.
Mhm.
Now, what is the most used by the mass public?
Are you talking embroidery or overall?
Overall.
Overall apparel?
Overall apparel.
Overall apparel? Probably a t-shirt.
Okay. So what if you had somebody who wanted a polo, but they didn't want it to be stitched? They wanted it screen printing.
So that's an option. It's always an option. The limitations to screen printing are the number of pieces that we have to run to make it cost effective.
Mhm.
For A, the customer buying the apparel, and B, the screen printer making the screens. So to me, the number of colors in a logo doesn't matter. It's the actual physical stitch count for the logo. On the screen print side, it's how many colors. You're limited to the number of colors that the carousel holds, which is typically 6. So if you have a complicated logo to bring 3 shirts in, it's just not cost effective.
It's going to cost you more than stitch.
Correct. The workaround for that is we can do digital transfers.
Ah.
So basically we can print it out on the machine similar to, it's the banner machine,
Mhm.
and then we can heat press it on. That's a great way to do quick special occasion, one-offs. We've done samples that way. So you can see it before we actually have to make the screens, put it up, use the ink.
So I'm a walking billboard for Amy. I think it's hilarious. I would definitely say, in my opinion, I'm her best client. Because I always give her stuff in short notice. And everybody that I've ever introduced her to, before they even meet her, they're like, I have stuff for you. Just
Yes.
because of how much I talk her up. Because I like literally, you've done, I mean, hell, my last bill was $1,000.
Imagine if you had gone online, what that bill would have
Oh
been.
my God. I can't, like, I don't
Well,
even.
not only
compare
that,
anything.
so what about local? Because that brings up a good point. You've got, if you're in the camp, like, is there delivery options or is there shipping options? Because you could always
Yes.
pick it up too, right?
Correct.
Mhm.
Yes to both. So you can pick it up. We're located in Mechanicsburg, right on Gettysburg Road, right off Route 15. But we can deliver. We do have a lot of clients that we deliver for, and we can ship UPS.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I actually have a customer in Pittsburgh that I do all their baseball jerseys, and I have a customer in Minnesota.
Oh, wow.
I've never met him. I can tell you all the colors in his logo. I have no idea what he looks like.
Can we make mine a rainbow?
Absolutely.
Oh, wait, I should get pride shirts made.
You totally should. So is there an ability, to, if you're handed a logo And you don't have the Pantone or the Hex colors, or I can't remember what the other ones are called.
The
I can't
PMS
remember.
colors, the Pantone
Yeah.
colors.
You know,
Really?
is that a problem?
EMS.
I know, right? This the Pantone matching system.
Yes.
We
Is
couldn't
that a
come up with another one.
problem?
No. I've been doing this long enough that I consider myself a thread Nazi.
Huh?
All right, hold on. I'm going to stop it right there. So, very first time I went in, not even shitting you, this entire wall was nothing but just threads. And
Okay.
she's like, "So which ones do you want?" I said, "Well, that one's really popping to me." So she's like, literally rattled off the name, and I'm like, "What about this one?" Rattled off the name. I'm like, this is just too creepy."
So you're a
Yeah,
savant.
I'm not right. I'm not right. So I probably have over 1,000 spools of thread. No lie, because Nick, I have thread that
Okay.
he hasn't even seen yet. Again, I've been doing it long enough that I'm pretty good at matching colors. And I always have the screen printer to fall back on. She's been screen printing for 44 years. So
Wow.
we've actually had rather heated discussions over color shades. Because reds can read blue, they can read orange, grays can read different colors. So we've actually gotten into like knockdown drag out fights over color.
Yeah. Red's one of the hardest things to match. I mean, hell, if you look, that mic is a different red than this mic, and those are both different reds than that chair, but they're
Red-
all red.
Correct.
Yeah.
Reds aren't so bad. So the hardest colors to match are grays
Oof.
and greens.
Oh,
Grays and greens. Okay.
Correct.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have
Yeah,
thought
that's
gray
in
and
the apparel
green.
world. Pardon?
I wouldn't have thought gray and green.
Gray especially, because depending on how gray appears in the light, it's got undertones, and it can have 5 or 6 different undertones that you don't see when it's on the machine, but you take it outside and you have an oh crap moment that you thought it was gray, but it's gray with a brown undertone.
Got you.
Yeah.
So I do a
gray
lot of
too.
matching outside.
Yeah.
In the natural light. Okay.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
So
So
what is
go
what's the
ahead.
best way, what's the best way for somebody to send you their logo?
For me, on the embroidery side, I just need it in a JPEG or a PDF. On the screen print side, we need a slightly higher resolution. And if you have the original file, if you paid quality money for a logo, you can get it in an EPS or an AI format. Clip art is not a logo.
Okay. What about PNG?
The problem with a PNG is we can't do anything with it. It
Okay.
is what it is when you send it to us. So if it's a low res PNG, there's nothing we can do to fix it. And when we go to blow it up, it's completely pixelated.
Yeah.
We can't resize it. We can't do anything to it.
The ESPs are the best for that.
Yeah, the EPS and the AIs,
EPS,
yeah, are,
So if
are
you
absolutely the best. Actually, I can somewhat work with a PNG. On the print and screen print side, they can't do anything.
Okay. So for those of you who are listening who are planning on getting a logo or anything like that, they are what you should ask for the designer who's designing it for you. So
Yeah.
make sure you get those.
Especially if you're paying money, you might as well get
Correct.
the actual hard.
Yes. If you look at your designer and say, can I have that in an EPS and an AI format? And they look at you like you have a Martian on your head, you
Uh-oh.
might want to walk out the door.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're in the wrong, you're on the wrong spot.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Amy, when you think about your transitions through careers, through what you've done to get to here, what would you say led you to the apparel side of things?
So I started working with my parents who owned a vacuum cleaner store, vacuum cleaner sales and service.
Kirby's?
At one point, my dad was a Kirby vacuum cleaner salesman.
My mom loved that.
I grew up the daughter of a Kirby vacuum cleaner salesman. I can change those parts in nothing flat. I said people think I'm a princess, but I can drop a motor in a sanitaire like that.
And you know what though? They don't make vacuum cleaners like they used to, people. I don't, just throwing that out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. So my parents opened a retail store, and one of the repair people they hired had a background in also repairing sewing machines. So he thought, I don't know what the history is between vacuums and sewing machines, but they always seem to go together.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we started selling sewing machines. And I said, that's great. I'm going to stick to vacuums. It's what I know. I want no part of sewing. And then we got computerized sewing machines. So instead of turning dials and having to adjust everything, now I just get to push buttons and push the gas pedal, and now I can sew. And then embroidery machines came to the home side. So we started selling embroidery machines. When you're selling somebody a $5,000 sewing machine, you darn well better know how to use it, because I have to teach them how to use it. That's what led into my machine embroidery. Not only selling it, but teaching it, making projects, making samples for our stores, things like that. So that's how I got into it. Ended up in the commercial side because my son went to college, and well, college is expensive.
Yes.
So I started working a second job for a commercial embroiderer, whose my sole job when I started was just to run the machines, just production, get it out the door. And then she threw me under the bus and sent me to BNI.
Wow.
That's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote. Yep.
Interesting. So when you look at apparel that people have done at other places, how easy is it to spot things that they fucked up?
Very.
Yeah.
Very.
I've noticed that. Like when I put the shirts you have done for us next to shirts that I've had done elsewhere, I just cringe. It's like, but I'm not gonna get rid of it because it still fits.
Well, and you
Everything
find
fits
like the
anymore.
logo starts to like pop
or
and shrunk.
or
Yeah, they do weird
stitches come
things.
out.
The stitches come out.
Yeah.
If you don't use the right backing, they won't lay nice.
Mhm.
There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah.
Part of the reason that I like being at Boone Graphics is because we do have kind of a team effort going on. That we have a graphic designer that if I need a logo fixed, tweaked, made bigger, made smaller, things like that, she can do it. And then I've got the screen printer that if Nick comes in and he decides that he needs 50 t-shirts by tomorrow, which he's been known to do, I can work with the screen printer so that the logo that I embroider is going to look the same as the logo she screen prints. So our colors are the same. So it's continuity of your branding.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And when it comes to your presentation, that is the thing that most people are making the decision on whether or not they're using you or not. So if you're not going to be doing things to the highest possibility, then just don't do it at all and get out of the business. Hey, look, it's known that Nick says the shocking things.
Oh Lord.
This is not a news flash.
Nope, not at all.
No, it is not. So,
Not at all.
Amy, what would you say if somebody wanted to start? They've never done either a apparel or pens or poster boards or any of that kind of stuff, banners before. What would be your recommendation for a realtor to start with? What do you feel?
Or any business.
Or any business, yeah. We are geared towards real estate,
We
but
are, but there's other people
for
who
a
listen to
small
us too.
business, what would you say is the first thing that you would recommend you start with?
I would start with if you're a brick and mortar or any type of business with a door, signage for your business.
Mm.
Whether it's signs for your door, signs for your windows, vehicle magnets, things like that. That's a good place to start, especially if you're in a service industry. In the world we live in today, if you're in a service industry and you're pulling up to somebody's house in an unmarked vehicle, I have a problem with that. Not that you're not reputable and you can't do your job, but I'm less likely to let you in my door if I don't know who you are.
But it's also good branding, because I have often literally rolled down my window and taken a picture of the side of somebody's van or truck when I need like a mason, or I need, somebody in the HVAC industry. I'll take a picture of their truck.
Absolutely.
So Amy,
You're right
you
about
haven't
that.
had the pleasure of riding with me in the car Heather has, so she'll understand this. I cannot brand my car.
No,
Why?
You'll have to ride with
Because-
me sometime.
because I would have to put on the back a phone number for people to call so that they could vent their aggravation
Probably
at
best
his
not.
driving.
It is very best that's not there.
Okay.
Yeah.
However, in the case of a real estate agent, you know the client you're meeting, where you're meeting them. You are not going into somebody's house to service something, rolling up in a panel van that's suspicious looking.
Right? No windows.
No windows, correct? Yes. I also recommend getting a
afternoon.
nice quality business card.
Oh,
Business cards are not expensive, and I know we live in a computer phone world, but people still pass out business cards. So get a nice looking business card. Doesn't have to be fancy. Make sure all your information's there.
do you
And-
help people design that?
We do.
Like,
We have an in-house graphic designer.
So if I said to you, I want to put, a magnet on my car because my teenagers drive it when I'm not in it, and I just want to be able to smack it on and flip it off. And here's my information. Would you then take it from there and be like, hey, what do you think about this, this, and this?
Yes. Yep. So our graphic designer typically will give you 2 or 3 different versions of what we think you're looking for. And then you can say, well, I like this from this one and this from this one. And then we can combine it all together, throw it on a magnet for you. And we do those in-house.
Nice.
Do you check to make sure the vehicle is magnetic?
Most of them are, yes.
Okay. Because when I first got in the industry, from Vistaprint ordered these magnets. They were not fucking cheap. My car's fiberglass.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, why isn't it sticking?
That would be all right. Most people know if their car is
My-
Can
fiberglass
handle it or
or not.
not?
Yeah.
So that would be my advice on that one is make sure, do a Google, talk to your garage, make sure it's metal before you invest in those.
Oh,
I
Tracy.
wanted them because it was the same reason that Heather said that you could pull it off when you didn't want it
Uh-huh.
on there and put it on when you could. Hence the reason that my car's not wrapped or anything because you can't take that off easily
No, you can't. It'll
Nope.
cost you an arm and a leg to take it off.
and then put it back on.
Oh,
Then put it back on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you, Amy.
Mhm.
This was informative.
that's awesome.
Obviously, I already knew a lot of this, but I know a lot of people have this misperception of let me just go out to Vistaprint or Pence.com or what was that one you sent me at one time? I forget what it was. but
Sometimes I just
every-
randomly send you stuff.
You do. Every time I've ever, back when I first started using you, would price match you to anywhere else, you guys were always cheaper.
And I've been doing this long enough that if I can't do it, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
There's
I
no
like the
sense in
personal.
And look, I can do it from my phone with a text message at 3:00 in the night.
Yeah, but I
You
like the
know.
personal touch where you went ahead and, if I were to send that to a larger company who was offsite with like very few people to answer my phone call, you actually are sitting there and like Nick said, you color match the background thread, to make that lay nice, as you said. And that's something that you did because that's what you do. It's not like Nick called you up and said, oh, by the way, I want you to match my background or you did
I
that
didn't even
fine.
know it was an option.
Exactly. You did it knowing
Yeah,
that
your
that's what's
shirts-
going to make the product look good.
Correct. Your shirts with the black thread make me insane.
Yeah. Now I will also say, Amy has the same pet peeve as I do. None of us know what this little block at the end of Hannah is for. So I'm gonna have to ask Helen, like, why is this block here? Because Amy goes, can we take that out of there? I'm like, I don't care. Like, it's not part of the name. Like,
Yeah.
there's a block there. It's weird.
I don't know either.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Amy.
Thank
Thanks,
you for helping
Amy.
me. Thank you.
Well, everybody, that was another episode of Turning the Key to Real Estate. I am your host, Nicholas Fegley.
And Heather Patron Shook.
Don't forget to like, follow, share for more great content like this today.